It's 7:14 p.m. on a Tuesday. The hum of the refrigerator cuts out. The streetlights outside blink once, then die. The ambient roar of the city, the traffic, the HVAC units, the distant sirens fades into a suffocating silence. You check the light switch, muscle memory, nothing. You check the breaker box, dead. You pull out your phone. Searching for service. You let out a breath. You chuckle nervously. You think it's a blown transformer down the block. You think the utility company is already rolling a truck. You think you'll wait it out on the couch. You are wrong. While you sit there waiting for a system that has already ceased to exist, the countdown has begun. The pumps pushing life into your building have stopped. The pressure in the pipes is bleeding out. You have 60 minutes to secure the only asset that matters. And you are wasting them. This is not a drill. Let's decode the chaos. Disaster doesn't look like an explosion. At first, it looks like inconvenience. In the first hour of a grid-down scenario, the greatest threat isn't looting, it isn't violence, it is normalcy bias. This is a cognitive glitch hardwired into your reptile brain. Your mind refuses to accept a traumatic shift in reality. It desperately tries to fit the chaos into a pattern you understand. You tell yourself, it's just a power cut, it happens. You tell yourself, someone is fixing it. This is the freezing point. Survival psychologists call it the statue effect. In plane crashes and fires, investigators often find bodies without a scratch on them. They didn't die from the impact. They died because they sat in their seats, waiting for instructions that never came. They froze. Right now, 90% of your neighbors are statues. They're wandering into the hallway asking if your power is out. They are scrolling through cached social media feeds. They are opening the fridge to check the beer, letting the cold air escape. They are wasting the golden hour. The golden hour in trauma medicine is the 60-minute window to stabilize a patient before death becomes inevitable. In a societal collapse, the golden hour is the window where the infrastructure still holds a ghost of functionality before physics takes over. While the herd is paralyzed by confusion, the tactician is moving. You don't need to know why the grid is down. A cyber attack, a solar flare, physical sabotage, it is irrelevant. The cause is politics. The effect is tactical. You have to break the psychological loop. You have to acknowledge the worst-case scenario immediately. If the power comes back on in 2 hours, you lost nothing but a little effort. If it doesn't come back on for 2 weeks, your actions in the next 60 minutes will determine whether you are a survivor or a statistic. Stop waiting, start securing. Let's talk about the engineering of your death. Most modern citizens view water as magic. You turn a handle and it appears. But the grid is an ecosystem, and it suffers from supply chain brittleness. Water doesn't flow to your third-floor apartment by magic. It is pushed by massive electric pumps. Municipal water towers provide gravity pressure, but they are finite batteries. Once the pumps die, the towers drain. When the towers drain, the pressure in the mains drops to 0. Depending on your elevation and distance from the tower, you might have residual pressure for an hour, maybe 3. But once that pressure hits equilibrium, the taps run dry. This brings us to the rule of threes. You can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. Yet watch the panic buyers when a storm hits. What do they grab? Bread, milk, eggs, toilet paper. They are prioritizing comfort over biology. They are solving the wrong problem. Dehydration is not just being thirsty. That is a late-stage alarm signal. By the time your mouth is dry, your cognitive function has already dropped by 20%. You become irritable. You make bad decisions. Your blood thickens, forcing your heart to work harder to pump sludge through your veins. In a high-stress survival situation where you need to be alert, mobile, and physically capable, dehydration is a force multiplier for failure. It makes you stupid. And in a collapse, stupidity is terminal. Without water, your body begins to cannibalize itself to maintain blood pressure. By day 3, organ failure sets in. The kidneys shut down. Waste products build up in the blood. You enter delirium. The scary part? You won't be looking for water then. You'll be too confused to remember how to open a bottle. The infrastructure has failed. The biology is ticking. Now we execute the solution. You are inside the golden hour. The lights are out. The neighbors are confused. You are going to secure your primary life support system. You are now going to rob the grid before it realizes it's bankrupt. Step 1, the perimeter check. Before you run a single drop of water, ensure your environment is secure. Lock the doors, close the blinds. Blackout curtains are preferred. If you don't have them, tape cardboard over the windows. Why? Because in 24 hours, darkness will trigger fear. A lit window or the sound of activity makes you a beacon. You want to be a ghost. This is the gray man theory applied to your home. You are unnoticed. You are uninteresting. You are invisible. Step 2, the bathtub protocol. Go to your bathroom. This is your reservoir. A standard bathtub holds 40 to 60 gallons of water. That is the equivalent of 400 water bottles. That is 3 weeks of survival for one person, right there in your porcelain bank. If you have a specialized bathtub liner, deploy it now. If you don't, you need to improvise. Scrub the tub, now, fast. Rinse it with bleach if you have it. Then plug the drain, duct tape over the plug. The seal must be absolute. Water is precious. Don't let gravity steal it back. Step 3, sound discipline. Turn the water on, but listen. In a silent building, water rushing through pipes is a roar. It tells everyone above you and below you that resources are still available. It triggers the herd. Fill the tub using the cold tap. Why cold? The hot water tank creates sediment. You want the cleanest water possible from the mains. If you have a hose or a bucket, fill it to minimize the splashing noise, dampen the sound. Step 4, the secondary reserves. While the tub fills, hit the other targets. Fill the sinks, fill the cooking pots, fill the washing machine. Do not forget the toilet tank, not the bowl, the tank. That is 3 to 5 gallons of potable water, providing you don't use chemical cleaning pucks in there. It's a reserve tank. Treat it as such. Step 5, the shutoff. Once the pressure dies or your containers are full, shut off your main water valve coming into the house. Why? Because when the grid eventually comes back up, the sudden rush of pressure can burst pipes. Or worse, if there is a breach in the main line down the street, contamination can backflow into your home system, isolate your system, protect your supply. Now, look at what you have achieved. While the world outside is tweeting about the outage, you have secured 80 gallons of water. You have bought yourself a month of life. You have moved from a victim of circumstance to a master of your environment. Survival is not about gear. It is not about how many knives you have or how much camo you wear. Survival is a mindset. It is the ability to suppress the urge to be normal and embrace the necessity of being ready. Most people will wait until their throat is dry to think about water. By then, the pipes are empty. You acted when the lights flickered. Knowledge weighs nothing, but ignorance is the heaviest burden you will ever carry. It is a burden that will crush you. The grid is fragile, the systems are temporary, only your will is permanent. Stay hidden, stay ready.